After my girlfriend went bankrupt, I had to move into a basement with her. But used to a big villa, I couldn't stand the hardship. I yelled at her every day, called her useless, and even tried to sell her for cash. Later, I found out she was a lost heiress. After her family took her back, the first thing she did was throw me into a ravine to feed pigs. I ended up stinking to death in a pigsty. I didn't want to feed pigs or die stinking, but I'd already insulted the bankrupt male lead for months. His hatred for me was maxed out. I paced around the room, panicking. Why is death coming so fast? Suddenly, the bedroom doorknob turned. The woman who went to work came back. Xiao Fen, I'll buy you a regular durian first. She frowned, looking a bit hesitant. As she negotiated with me, I looked up, completely stunned. The woman was 1.8 meters tall, with thin lips and phoenix eyes. Her narrow eyes held a cold sharpness. Thinking I was still angry, she quickly explained, this Muzang King costs $600 each. I want to save up for a better place. Heaven knows she works herself to death at the company every day, and works as a cashier at the supermarket late at night, yet can't even afford to eat. How could I keep scolding her? I quickly changed my tune. I don't want durian anymore. I want strawberries. Lu Ruyan was stunned. She remembered I never liked strawberries. I had to say I wanted a change. She was silent for a while before agreeing. But what I didn't know was, as soon as the woman closed the door, she leaned against it, her eyes full of vigilance and scrutiny. A thought exploded in her mind. He suddenly stopped making a fuss. Is he finally tired? Is he going to abandon me completely? At dusk, Lu Ruyan rushed back. She came in carrying fruit and headed straight for my room. But when she opened the door, the room was empty. Her breath caught, and she leaned weakly against the doorframe. Her only support. Now even that light had gone out. Just as she was being swallowed by despair, your voice suddenly came from behind. Lu Ruyan, the laundry's done. Go take a shower. Lu Ruyan's body stiffened. With disbelief in her eyes, she turned around. You didn't leave? You looked confused. Leave? Where? I'm off today. She seemed to shed a huge burden. She stepped aside to let you hang the clothes. But as soon as you turned, your eyes fell on the table. There sat a huge durian and a box of bright red strawberries. The brand on the packaging was very clear. It was that $600 Muzang King. She was so poor she lived in a basement. How could she afford such expensive fruit for you? You couldn't help but swallow. You demanded, didn't we agree on just strawberries? What about the rent? Lu Ruyan said calmly, it's fine. I'll just work 2 more hours a day to make it back. Your heart skipped a beat. Just last night, she lost 2 hours of sleep because of your scolding. Now she was going to kill herself for a durian. You watched her leave. That once arrogant woman, now bent by life. You gritted your teeth, grabbed the durian, and rushed back to the fruit shop, begging the owner. This was just bought by my girlfriend. Can you refund me? We really can't afford the rent. After some pleading, the owner finally gave you back $580. As you clutched the money and passed a stationery store, a light bulb went off in your head. You were from the art academy. You could totally sell drawings under the bridge to make money. Get out of this dump sooner. As for leaving Lu Ruyan behind, you never even considered it. After all, abandoning the heroine was also a death sentence. You had to survive until she met the male lead. At 2 a.m., Lu Ruyan dragged herself home, exhausted. But the moment she pushed open the door, she froze. A dim night light was on the table. Under it was a note and a stack of cash. Lu Ruyan, I said I didn't want it, but you bought it anyway. I returned it for $580. Used some for a drawing board. The rest is here. Don't waste money next time. You deliberately mimicked the original's domineering tone. But the last part sounded like a big golden retriever whimpering. No intimidation at all. You thought, and added another line at the end. Oh, and don't come home too late. Be home by 10. Lu Ruyan suddenly felt lucky it was you who stayed with him. Any other man would have run away long ago. She turned off the nightlight and silently lay down beside you. The next morning, you were focused on drawing in your room, while Lu Ruyan was busy in the kitchen. The rich aroma of food filled the whole room, making your stomach growl. Who would have thought that the once pampered princess would be forced by you into a master chef? You had to admit, geniuses excel at everything. You slipped into the kitchen with your brush. Lu Ruyan, what's cooking? She handed you a plate of egg fried rice. Try it. How is it? You took a spoonful and put it in your mouth. Your eyes lit up. So good, Lu Ruyan. You could be a chef at a 5-star hotel. But Lu Ruyan's brow furrowed. She asked coldly, didn't you always say my cooking was terrible? Your heart jumped. You quickly explained, I mean, compared to the villa chef, it's a bit worse. But now, it's god level. But Lu Ruyan wasn't easily fooled. Her sharp eyes locked on you. You've been acting strange lately. Your tone. She stopped mid-sentence, feeling it was off. Your heart was in your throat. You were about to be exposed. So you threw the spoon on the plate, put your hands on your hips. Can't I even compliment you? Do you need me to yell at you every day? Lu Ruyan looked at your harmless expression, like a cat with its tail stepped on. No need, she said, her eyes darkening. She actually backed down first. After eating, Lu Ruyan obediently went to wash the dishes. When she came out, she saw you fiddling with a scroll. She thought you were just messing around. I'm going to work. As she left, she casually said, got it. See you at 10. New house rule, no coming home late. You didn't look up. Lu Ruyan paused. She remembered the note. Silently, she nodded. The moment she stepped out, you slipped out with your drawing board. You picked a CU underpass. Set up your easel next to a watermelon stall. A cardboard sign read in bold, sketch. 10 minutes, $10. A passing couple was immediately drawn in. The girl asked curiously, how much for 2 people? You smiled, your eyes turning into crescents. First customer, still $10. 20 minutes later, the couple left satisfied with their drawing. You looked at the $10 in your phone, almost jumped for joy. The watermelon vendor next to you handed you a small stool. Young man, first time setting up a stall? Debt, sir. You've got sharp eyes. I only brought 1 stool. Are you still in school? You hesitated, then shook your head. No, I just draw for fun. You couldn't reveal your real identity. The watermelon vendor was amazed by your drawings. These look just like photos. You smiled faintly. Maybe I'm just gifted. At 9 a.m., office workers were rushing by. Your stall was fast and cheap. Soon, you had 2 appointments for tomorrow. You nodded, but worried inside, afraid they might stand you up. But just then, Lu Ruyan happened to pass through the underpass. She spotted you in an instant. A kid just out of school snatched your drawing. Hey, my drawing. You jumped up in panic. The boy grabbed the paper and ran. In a flash, he was far away. His mother was just staring at her phone, ignoring her child. But just as the boy reached the end of the passage, he ran into a wall of a person. Lu Ruyan stood like a cold statue, blocking his way. Her red lips parted. Her voice was icy. Mess with my people? The boy was so scared he burst into tears. Mommy. A dinosaur. A dinosaur is going to eat me. You caught up. Just heard that dinosaur. You couldn't help but laugh. From the kid's perspective, Lu Ruyan really did look like a dinosaur. But Lu Ruyan wasn't in the mood for jokes. She reached out to the boy. The boy was terrified. He immediately handed back the drawing, apologizing through tears. Lu Ruyan then handed it back to you. She asked casually, what are you doing here? Hee, selling drawings to make money. With that, you ran back to your stall, started drawing a portrait for an old lady. Lu Ruyan stood not far away, watching you. You lowered your head and worked. Your movements were fluid. Every stroke was confident and decisive. No hesitation. When you finished, the old lady gave you $10. She praised you happily. You made me look 10 years younger. You're naturally young. After the old lady left with a smile, you were about to pack up. A pair of long legs blocked your way. Without looking up, you said, sit down. $10 a drawing. 10 minutes. Before you finished, you looked up. Ah, Lu Ruyan, why aren't you gone yet? If you'd known she worked nearby, you'd never have set up here. Lu Ruyan looked down at you. Her tone was flat. I'm picking up food for a colleague across the bridge. Her eyes fell on your drawing board. You can do this. Your mind raced. You immediately put on your abusive boyfriend act. Yo, didn't expect that, huh? I'm amazing. I can make big money too. Lu Ruyan's eyes were deep and unreadable. They made you nervous. You quickly stood up, continued your act. I made 40 today. Tomorrow's appointments are all booked. Unlike you, who's useless. By the end, your voice was weak with guilt. But Lu Ruyan showed no reaction. She just said a flat mem. What do you want? You were taken aback. Then remembered you'd said you'd buy something with the money. You racked your brain. Finally remembered that classic line. I'd rather cry in a BMW than laugh on the back of your bike. Lu Ruyan was silent for a long time. She only replied, got it. Then she turned and left. You watched her retreating figure. Your heart was in turmoil. She must be really mad this time. But soon, Lu Ruyan came back. Without a word, she set down a lunchbox. You opened it, and were stunned. 3 meats and 1 veggie. Is the company food this good now? The watermelon vendor next to you laughed and exposed you. She bought that just for you. I saw her carrying only veggie lunches. The vendor asked while eating a bun. She's so good to you, kid. Why do you talk to her like that? You let out a heavy sigh. Sir, I know I'm a total jerk. After packing up, you went straight to your supermarket job, working as a stalker until 9 p.m. Then you sat at the table to draw again. Just then, the lock clicked. Lu Ruyan was back. Your mind went blank. You remembered you'd told her to be home by 10. How is it 10 already? You blurted out, then wanted to slap yourself. It sounded like you were annoyed she was back early. But Lu Ruyan just said calmly, not much work today. I'll shower first. You continued drawing, finished over a dozen sketches in one go. Then noticed Lu Ruyan was already in bed, reading. She couldn't afford a phone. Her salary was all handed over. Her only entertainment was borrowing books from the library. You felt the atmosphere was awkward, so you asked casually, what book are you reading? Lu Ruyan didn't look up. She spat out 5 words. Poor Charlie's Almanac. You froze instantly. Oh no, this lady is so mad at me. She's studying how to get rich. You awkwardly climbed into bed, silently calculated the family savings. Lu Ruyan had said the rent was due soon. After transferring the rent to the landlord, you'd be back to being broke. But Lu Ruyan put down her book. Her eyes were sharp on you. Your drawing skills are very polished. When did you learn? You covered your phone and asked back. I haven't asked you yet. How did you build a 30 billion company right after graduation? Her tone was calm. I studied finance. You were stumped. Then why aren't your classmates that amazing? Lu Ruyan raised an eyebrow. They didn't go bankrupt as thoroughly as I did. Now you were completely out of words. Her bankruptcy was indeed brutal. Restricted from high spending. All bank cards frozen. Her salary could only go into your oatsao. Otherwise, it would be gone instantly. Your heart softened. You stammered to comfort her. You have a long life ahead. You'll definitely make a comeback. You looked at her tired face. Remembered she passed by at noon. So you asked, do you work nearby? Lu Ruyan shook her head. Not really. It's a 3 kilometers walk home. Want me to buy you a bike? You frowned. The words just came out. Lu Ruyan's face instantly changed. She stared at you. Without a word, you knew she remembered what you said. Rather cry in a BMW than laugh on the back of a bike. The next second, she threw the book aside, got up and turned off the light. The whole room plunged into darkness. You whispered, you haven't answered me. Tomorrow, I'll pick out a bike for you. In the dark, Lu Ruyan's voice was ice cold. Rent is due tomorrow. After rent, I'll save more. I'll definitely get you one this month. But she just coldly said, no need. Go to sleep. The next day, you were so broke you couldn't even afford a bike. But you still went out with your drawing board. In one morning, you worked hard and earned $60. Just as you were about to pack up, a girl with pink hair suddenly appeared. She smiled, showing 2 little fangs. Can you draw one for me? You shook your head apologetically. I have things to do this afternoon. How about tomorrow? The pink-haired girl nodded with a smile. Then I'll be your first customer tomorrow. My name is Bai Ningbing. I'm a junior at the Central Academy of Fine Arts next door. Your jaw almost dropped. You're from Kaffa? Then why ask me to draw? Bai Ningbing winked at you. Her voice was as soft as water. I lie your sty. She not only praised you, but also helped you pack up your board. The recognition from a Kaffa student flattered you. You two hit it off and chatted enthusiastically. But neither of you expected that at the other end of the underpass, a woman was staring at you both. Her red lips were tight. Her brow furrowed. The orange in her hand was squeezed to juice. You watched Lu Ruyan throw the crushed orange into the trash. She was acting really strange today. As soon as she got home, she started rummaging through everything, making so much noise you couldn't focus on drawing. You couldn't help but ask, what are you looking for? Lu Ruyan's eyes were dark. Lie ink. She stared at you and said, I'm washing all the clothes in the closet to prevent mold. But as soon as she left, she called from the bathroom, Chen Fen. You couldn't take it anymore. You threw down your brush. What now, my lady Lu? But Lu Ruyan silently climbed into bed, picked up a book and pretended to read. Now it was your turn to be annoyed. You looked at the time. It was already 11. You'd only drawn 7 sketches, all because of her. Stop reading. Lu Ruyan's dark eyes were bottomless. She said deeply, then I won't. You pressed on. What's wrong with you today? Suddenly got ADHD? But she just wouldn't speak. Her eyes were fixed on your lips. You leaned closer. Talk. Why are you playing mute? The close distance made her feel intense pressure. Her breathing became rapid. Just when you thought she'd have a breakdown and were about to back off, Lu Ruyan suddenly said, keep drawing. I'm going out to buy water. With that, she threw off the covers and got out of bed. Soon, she left the room. You found it a bit strange. Why go buy water in the middle of the night? You couldn't figure it out, so you stopped thinking. Continued drawing. After all, making money was the top priority. But before you could draw a few strokes, a drop of water appeared on the paper. You instinctively looked up at the ceiling. A row of crystal clear water droplets hung above. Oh no, the upstairs is leaking. You frantically put away your drawings, rushed into the bathroom, grabbed a basin and put it on the table to catch the water, put on your shoes and ran upstairs to knock on the neighbor's door. Knocking and shouting, anyone home? You knocked for a long time. The neighbor next door was woken up, but the upstairs tenant didn't respond. The neighbor poked their head out and said, this unit hasn't been occupied for days. You'd better call the property management. Oh cool. You quickly pulled out your phone and called them. Hello. This is resident B101. My upstairs is leaking, but no one seems to be home. Can you send someone to check? How much water is leaking? You were getting anxious. At first, it was just dripping. Now it's getting worse. I'm afraid the pipe upstairs burst. If this continues, the room might be flooded. The property management's tone was still lazy. All right, I'll call the upstairs tenant and ask. You acknowledged, hung up and ran back downstairs. When you got home, the leak was indeed getting worse. It was even spreading. You had to get another basin from the bathroom. It had been 20 minutes since you called. Still no response. You had to call again. Have you contacted the upstairs tenant? The property management replied coldly, can't reach them. You'd never dealt with such a mess before. Even though you were trying your best, troubles just kept piling up. And Lu Ruyan, who went out for water, still hadn't come back. You wanted to call her for help, but suddenly remembered she didn't even have a phone. What year is this? Unbelievable, you thought that more than a bike. Lu Ruyan needed a phone. The upstairs neighbor couldn't be reached. The property management was useless. You were completely out of options. You could only move things away from the leak. Just then, a blinding white light flashed outside the window, lighting up the entire night day. A deafening thunderclap seemed to split the sky. Your breathing became rapid. You remembered that typhoon day from your memory. Lightning flashed outside the huge floor-to-ceiling window. You, at 7 or 8, could only curl up in bed, crying helplessly. Mom and Dad were always busy. They traveled all over the country, leaving you alone in the empty house. The sky was so dark then, and the thunder so loud. The fear deep inside is instantly triggered. You curl up into the corner of the bed. At this moment, Lu Ruyan just bought the cheapest bottle of iced mineral water. She sits alone on the exercise equipment, head down, drinking it sip by sip. Beijing in the dead of night is pitch black. In this world of towering skyscrapers, he feels so small he could suffocate. He knows he came from a poor family since childhood. His father died early. His mother and grandfather worked hard to support him. She was the top science student in the college entrance exam. I heard every teacher who taught him was proud of him. Later, he entered the talent-packed Peking University, still shining brightly there. He was the center of attention among classmates. I heard he started a business with a classmate in his sophomore year, staying up late to code and manage operations. He managed to grow the company to a market value of 10 billion. But later, somehow, the company was suddenly attacked. He ended in a miserable defeat and owed a huge debt. That smooth sailing she had AP was just crushed. Lu Ruyan also wondered if he had offended someone. But those business tycoons clearly thought highly of him. No reason to suppress him. But you're sure those sudden attacks were definitely aimed at him. Lu Ruyan has no idea who the enemy is. Now she has nothing, let alone investigating the truth. He takes a sip of ice water. The coolness slides down his throat. Maybe it can clear his mind. After bankruptcy, she rarely has time alone like this. Except for sleeping. You always push him to work and earn money, or order him around to do this and that. Lately, you've calmed down a bit. You took the initiative to find a side job. He probably thinks your attitude is strange. Lie, you're about to leave him. Lu Ruyan must be thinking about what she saw at noon. You were chatting happily with that girl in pink. Your smile was probably more genuine than with her. She must have tightened her grip on the water bottle. The bottle gradually deformed. The remaining half bottle of water spilled out, wetting her hand. He probably doesn't dare admit his own thoughts. You know he feels both defeated and unwilling inside, until the thunder roars. That woman with her head down suddenly looks up and hurries home. You left the living room light on. When Lu Ruyan twists open the bedroom door, she sees you curled up in the corner of the bed, pale-faced, overwhelmed by fear. She quickly walks to the bedside, pats your shoulder and asks, Xiao Fen, what's wrong? What happened? Water is leaking from upstairs. No one's home. The property management won't help. Lu Ruyan sees the 2 notebooks on the table, but she must think the leak isn't the main issue. The main thing is the heavy rain and thunder outside. She tentatively asks, are you afraid of thunder? You hesitate for a moment. After confirming she won't suspect anything, you nod cautiously. Lu Ruyan gives you a deep look, takes your phone, and calls the property management again, trying to solve the leak issue first. This time, the property management refuses more bluntly. Their tone is worse. It's late at night with such heavy rain. How can I come over? And even if I do, it's useless. I can't pick locks. Lu Ruyan mutters a curse under her breath, then immediately calls the police. Water leaks are the property's responsibility. We can only help coordinate, but it's late and raining heavily. Why don't you go stay at a hotel for now? You see Lu Ruyan take a deep breath, as if trying to accept the reality of being poor. The water is dripping a bit fast, but by tomorrow morning, when the locksmith comes, it won't flood the place. Lu Ruyan must have seen the water on the floor. You've already cleaned up. You think she's probably surprised. Then Lu Ruyan tucks the bedsheet, almost dragging on the floor, under the bed and presses it down to keep it from getting wet. The sound of water droplets hitting the basin is especially loud. He finds 2 sweaters and puts them in the basin, with the fabric cushioning. The noise is indeed much quieter. Locksmith, come at 8 tomorrow. Let's sleep first. It's almost midnight. Before you can even breathe a sigh of relief, another lightning flash outside the window. You know a louder thunder is coming. You feel lie a prisoner awaiting execution, waiting for the fatal blow. Rumble, an even louder thunderclap explodes. You're suddenly pulled into a warm embrace. Her see you, pleasant scent immediately surrounds you. Don't be afraid, I'm here. You've also fantasized countless times in thunderstorm nights that your parents would suddenly return, holding you and saying, don't be afraid. Too bad that wish never came true. Now, the warmth comes from just a paper character, a novel heroine who is destined not to be yours. But this warmth is too precious. The next day, the locksmith arrives. Under the property's witness, they pry open the upstairs door, only to find it's not a burst pipe, but the upstairs resident didn't tighten the faucet before leaving. Water overflowed from the sink, flooding their entire room. You almost want to grab the designer and ask what they were thinking. Can couples in hotels really accept being so exposed? The sound of water comes from the bathroom. Lu Ruyan goes in to shower. You sit on the bed with your back to her, holding a drawing board, muttering in your mind. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. I'm not a pervert. I really am not. Why did you stop drawing? Lu Ruyan's voice comes from above you. You suddenly open your eyes. A stunningly beautiful face is magnified right in front of you. Perfect golden ratio features. A straight nose bridge and see you. Watery eyes. So beautiful it makes your heart skip a beat. This face is way too unfair. How did the author create such a face? Not to mention the male lead would be infatuated. Even a passing cat or dog can't help but steal a few more glances at her. I'm stuck on my painting. Lu Ruyan's eyes fall on the landscape painting in your hand. She gives you a suggestion. Then draw something else. Not everyone likes using landscapes as maps. You nod, suddenly remembering Bai Ningbing, whom you stood up. Bai Ningbing's appearance is the cute type. Not only does it not stir thoughts, but it instantly calms your mind. You decide to draw her. Perfect. You can deliver it directly when you set up the stall tomorrow. Lu Ruyan walks over with a book. Looks like she's going to read in bed until she accidentally glances over and sees the female face outline you just drew. Whether it's the face shape or hairstyle, it's very similar to that girl in pink from yesterday noon. Lu Ruyan's face instantly darkens. She told you not to draw landscapes, and you turn around to draw another woman. Lu Ruyan is almost amused with anger, but getting angry over a drawing would make her seem petty, so she walks over with a stern face, pretending to ask casually, which celebrity are you drawing? She even gives you an out. All you have to do is go along with her words. At this moment, Lu Ruyan must think she's a super generous and considerate girlfriend. Who would have thought you'd answer without even looking up? She's a customer of mine. I was supposed to draw her this morning, but I stood her up. The plot completely deviates from her script. Lu Ruyan's tone sounds strange. You're really thoughtful. In business, you have to keep customers in mind. You continue drawing with your head down. Lu Ruyan's face darkens further, as if thinking how to politely tear up your drawing without making you angry. Just at that moment, you suddenly shout, I forgot what she looks like exactly. Are her eyes peach blossom eyes? Lu Ruyan's clenched fists immediately relax. The anger in her heart seems to vanish instantly. It's just a passerby whose face you can't remember. What's there to be jealous about? Lu Ruyan says, pretending to be magnanimous. You might see her again later. Then you can draw her from life. You nod in agreement. So you put away this half-finished drawing and switch to drawing backgrounds with small animals. That drawing without facial features is casually thrown onto the bed between you two. The pretend magnanimous Lu Ruyan finds that drawing more and more annoying. She must really want to throw it in the trash. But thinking of your temper, she forcibly holds back. Early the next morning, you set up your stall again. Today, the underpass is especially empty. Even the watermelon selling uncle didn't come. You obediently set up your drawing board, ready to work at any moment. But after waiting the whole morning, you only drew 2 pictures. Looks like missing a day made even regular customers disappear. You ponder whether to move to a busier spot tomorrow. Maybe business will be better. Bai Ningbing comes just as you're about to pack up. She's wearing a school uniform again today. You don't recognize her watch, but a student dressed so well must come from a very wealthy family. Chin Fen, you finally showed up at noon today. I thought you'd moved locations. Bai Ningbing looks especially happy to see you. Something came up at home yesterday, so I didn't come out. You explain a bit sheepishly. That's good. I was afraid I wouldn't get to have you draw me, Bai Ningbing says with a smile. Then she sees you packing up and asks if you're about to close up. Maybe I'll come find you tomorrow. Feeling bad for making her come all this way for nothing, you trek the time and say, actually, I already sketched your outline yesterday. You pull out the paper with just the outline from your bag and fix it onto the drawing board. Bai Ningbing is stunned for a moment, then looks down at her wristwatch, probably thinking you recognized the Bren, so you deliberately remembered and prepared it in advance. Bai Ningbing smiles even brighter, but the smile doesn't seem to reach her eyes. This time, drawing from life, you finally see her eye shape clearly. Sure enough, classic peach blossom eyes. I heard girls with peach blossom eyes are especially popular with guys, but most are quite flirtatious. You're not good at reading faces yet, but you feel Bai Ningbing's eyes are very clear. She probably isn't the fickle type. Otherwise, being so beautiful would be a waste. I finished this drawing in 5 minutes. You hand the drawing to her and start packing up. Bai Ningbing examines the drawing carefully, compliments your skill, and says your drawing has emotion because you made her eyes look especially clean. Clear like a spring of water. Bai Ningbing says. It's the first time someone has drawn her face like this. She seems quite satisfied. Then she quickly scans the code and pays. Ding, WeChat payment received. 10,000 yuan. You look up in SOC. But Bai Ningbing still looks innocent. Did you accidentally add 3 extra zeros? Even you don't believe that question. Normally, a slip of the finger adds 1 0. How could it be 3 at once? Bai Ningbing smiles and says, no, I didn't. I think your drawing is worth this much. 10,000 yuan is even a bargain. You panic. Don't do this. I'll refund you right away. Bai Ningbing shows her personal QR code and hands it over disappointedly. Fine. Then add me on WeChat. Without thinking, you add her on WeChat. 10,000 yuan. Who wouldn't want it? Especially when your family is dirt poor. But you can't accept this money. Bai Ningbing clearly looks like a kid. She'll definitely regret it later. You add her on WeChat and immediately transfer back the extra money. Bai Ningbing smiles and waves her phone at you. Then I won't keep you from leaving work. I'll bring classmates to get drawn another day. Oh cool. After Bai Ningbing walks away, the more you think about it, the more something feels off. You remember that WeChat refunds don't require adding as a friend. You frown, staring at Bai Ningbing's WeChat avatar. After thinking it over, you decisively block her. You just feel this person is strangely unsettling. Your sense of caution is super strong. You think your poor little home can't afford any scams. Lu Ruyan runs into Bai Ningbing on the street. Normally, she wouldn't notice such a passerby, but Bai Ningbing's outfit is too eye-catching. All pink, even her hair is pink. From a distance, she sees the girl looking down at her phone. Lu Ruyan catches a glimpse and sees that her WeChat interface has your avatar. In the middle of a hot summer noon, she suddenly feels a chill down her spine. Lu Ruyan freezes in place. Bai Ningbing walks further away behind her, but Lu Ruyan's anger only grows. So she already has his WeChat. I haven't even added your WeChat yet. Why should she? Lu Ruyan looks at her own empty hands. Too poor to even have a phone. While that pink-haired girl wears a 4 million yuan Patek Philippe, Lu Ruyan works hard again until the early morning. Her efficiency is running at full speed. She needs to save up to buy a phone. Her colleagues are shocked by her drive. This young person has so much energy. Is she trying to make us all unemployed? Lu Ruyan is like a tireless machine. At midnight, she still wants to keep working. Lu Ruyan, your boyfriend is here to see you. Until someone outside calls her. Her colleagues immediately start teasing. Look, working so late. Go home. Leave us some room to lie. Lu Ruyan is so lucky. Let me go see how handsome her boyfriend is. Lu Ruyan certainly won't let them see. She pushes her colleagues behind her, then quickly runs out. Hey, why so stingy? When Lu Ruyan runs out, she can still hear her female colleagues teasing her for being stingy. Seeing her come out, you finally breathe a sigh of relief. You say with a bit of anger, Lu Ruyan, you broke your promise. She promised to be home by 10 every day, but now it's already midnight, and she still shows no sign of coming home. If you didn't know she was dirt poor, you'd suspect she was out fooling around. You come to pick her up late at night. The once angry Lu Ruyan instantly loses her temper. The sound of water rushes in the bathroom. She washes herself thoroughly, then slowly comes out. You're already lying in bed, facing away from her, scrolling on your phone. Lu Ruyan's expression suddenly changes, probably remembering what happened during the day. She must think you're chatting with that pink-haired girl. This anger really comes out of nowhere. Lu Ruyan climbs onto the bed, probably trying to sneak a peek at your phone screen. But when she leans over, the phone screen is already black. You've already fallen asleep. She didn't see what she wanted, probably both disappointed and relieved. Your breathing is very light, so quiet it makes her a bit uneasy. So she instinctively reaches her finger under your nose. 1 second, 2 seconds, until the 3rd second. Finally, a faint breath touches her fingertip. Lu Ruyan finally relaxes. Good, you're still alive. A hint of confusion shows in her eyes. As a pure science student, Lu Ruyan once couldn't understand the romantic thoughts in art students' minds. She even thought finding a boyfriend, getting married, and having kids, building an ordinary family, would be a complete life. However, a bankruptcy changed everything. In this shabby, small, and cheap hotel room, a different thought sprouts in her heart. She seems to suddenly understand what people spend their whole lives pursuing is the foundation of marriage. Yet it transcends marriage itself. The next day, you go to the nearest Xiaomi phone store. How much is the cheapest one? This model is only 341 yuan, suitable for students and elderly parents. You choke a bit. Although Lu Ruyan's phone is mostly for calls and WeChat, using an elderly model might be a bit much. But thinking it over, you don't have extra money, so excessive it is. I'll buy this one. You handle the transaction. You carry your drawing board and continue setting up under the bridge. Lu Ruyan comes by with a lunchbox. You're focused on drawing. She puts down the lunchbox as usual, and is about to leave without a word. Wait, Lu Ruyan, I bought you a new phone. You quickly call out to her. Lu Ruyan stops. The phone number and WeChat are registered with my ID. Feel free to use it. If you want to download other apps, you can use my ID number. I sent it to you on WeChat. Lu Ruyan doesn't take it, asking doubtfully. Aren't you saving up for autumn clothes? Why did you think to buy me a phone? You've already prepared an excuse. I don't want to not be able to find you anytime. And I don't want to have to go so far to pick you up late at night. Lu Ruyan's furrowed brows relax. I see. Thank you. Then go back to work. Make good money. Seeing no objection, you feel relieved. You feel reassured. Lu Ruyan leaves with the phone, unable to put it down the whole way, until a young girl blocks her path. Lu Ruyan looks up and sees that eye-catching pink hair. Remembering that she has your WeChat, Lu Ruyan's face darkens. Bai Ningbing crosses her arms, glances coldly at her phone, sarcastically says, "You earn him so much money, and he buys you this crappy phone?" Lu Ruyan immediately senses something wrong. Isn't she a suitor of Chen Fen? Why is she bad-mouthing him behind his back? None of your business, Lu Ruyan says coldly. Bai Ningbing drops her innocent act. Her tone is very flippant. Even the maid who cleans my bathroom wouldn't use this. Sister, your life is so hard. Lu Ruyan puts away her phone and squints. Who are you, exactly? She doesn't remember having such a disrespectful sister, and one dressed so richly. Bai Ningbing laughs. I've checked. You work 2 jobs every day. You earn over 10,000 a month. It's not a lot, but at least you wouldn't end up in a basement. Sister, it's all because of him dragging you down. Don't call me sister, it's disgusting. Ruyan Jie, I snuck out to find you. Grandpa said if you can start a successful business again, he'll let you come home. But with him holding you back like this, it'll take forever. Lu Ruyan furrows her brow. Then she pushes past this pink-haired girl, not wanting to waste any time on her. Your boyfriend is extremely materialistic. He's been setting up his stall here for days, and only added me on WeChat. Do you know why? Because he saw my watch is worth millions. He wants to cheat, mentioning adding WeChat. Lu Ruyan gets angry and turns back. You deliberately overpaid him to trick him into adding you. Don't think he didn't notice. He saw it clearly. You don't need to add WeChat to transfer money. You can show a payment code. Sister, don't you believe me? He's definitely a gold digger. I'll send him a WeChat to invite him to dinner tonight. See if he comes. Saying this, she quickly types a message. Lu Ruyan instantly gets furious. How my boyfriend is none of your business to Tet. She reaches out to stop her, but Bai Ningbing quickly sends the message. While the two are arguing, a red exclamation mark appears in the chat box. The other party has enabled friend verification. You are not their friend yet. Please send a friend request first. Then they can see your message. Bai Ningbing asks in confusion. Did you sneak onto his phone and delete me? She can't believe a guy would easily block her. Such a big catch. Who would refuse a beautiful and rich suitor? Bai Ningbing stands there stunned like a fool. Lu Ruyan steps up and slaps her, leaving a red mark on the girl's face. She warns, I don't care who you're after. Stay away from him, or I won't be nigh. Sis, I'm helping you here. After Lu Ruyan left, the more she thought, the more confused she got. It wasn't strange that Pink Hair knew his name, but being able to dig up his current job so thoroughly. What does she want? Lu Ruyan didn't remember having such an enemy. Thinking this, she dialed a number. The person on the phone was busy. It's me, Lu Ruyan, she said impatiently. There was a commotion on the other end. It seemed they dropped their phone in SOC. Senior, are you okay now? Jiang Xinyue was so excited she was almost in tears. We've been so worried. Senior, where have you been? No news from you for months. How are you now? Lu Ruyan felt a warmth in her heart. Her voice softened a bit. Jiang Xinyue sniffled. Her voice was a little choked up. Kirsten and them are starting a new business. They already have their first round of funding. I played it safe and got a job at a big company. Senior, are you thinking of starting a business again? If you need me, I can quit and join any time. Lu Ruyan was silent for a moment. Finally, she asked, why do you trust me so much? Jiang Xinyue was amused. Of course, I want to make a career with you. Senior, you're my ENGDUB. I believe you'll make it to the world stage someday. Lu Ruyan found it absurd. Jiang Xinyue was blindly trusting her. She didn't know her debt would take lifetimes to repay. But Lu Ruyan didn't dampen her spirits. Not planning to for now. Focus on your job first. Remembering earlier, she asked again. Do you remember us offending a pink-haired junior? Or a business tycoon's daughter named Bai? What tycoon's daughter is so alternative? I don't recall. Let me ask Kirsten and them. Lu Ruyan recalled Bai Ningbing's words. Grandpa said if you succeed again, you can come home. Who is Bai Ningbing's grandfather? And what does come home mean? Lu Ruyan couldn't figure it out, but she felt it was absurd to worry over a stranger. By the way, Senior, are you still with that guy? That guy meant Chen Fen. Her friends didn't lie him. They thought Lu Ruyan was too good for him, but that man didn't appreciate it. Not only was he bad to Lu Ruyan, but he also blamed them for making her work late, despite disliking him. Jiang Xinyue dared not badmouth her brother-in-law, afraid that if they got married, she'd be in trouble. Lu Ruyan knew who she meant. We're still together. Jiang Xinyue was stumped, but still tactful. Then brother-in-law is pretty good. He really loves you, Lu Ruyan murmured. Sigh. Hearing that unfamiliar term, a warmth flowed through her heart, but it didn't feel that sweet. Under the bridge, you scroll on your phone. The forum says the best place is at the scenic entrance. Those people are tourists. They have free time to spend on him. You scroll down to a 6DO with 50,000 likes. You find the art isn't that great. How did this get popular? Curious, you open their profile. They have 300,000 followers. Every portrait looks like the person but lacks spirit. Yet the comments are full of people wanting commissions. The blogger says they only take 10 orders a day, and the queue is a month long. You immediately think you can do it too. You could draw 50 portraits a day, and better than them. Then your phone rings. It's Lu Ruyan. Hello, are you Lu Ruyan's boyfriend? Ruyan had an accident on her way to work. Come quickly. The strange woman's voice on the phone was anxious. There was noise in the background. You arrived to see Lu Ruyan surrounded by people. She's leaning against a pot. A bloody streak runs from her brow to her cheek. Her eyes are unfocused. Lu Ruyan, it's Chen Fen. Can you hear me? Are you worried about her? Lu Ruyan tries to open her eyes to see, but her eyelids are too heavy to lift. The woman stubbornly refuses to close her eyes. Your voice is anxious and concerned, no longer the pure abuse and annoyance of before. Chen Fen, I've been working so hard to earn money. You'll stay for me, right? In the hospital room, you stayed by her side all day, until evening. Lu Ruyan regained consciousness. Waking up, she frowned, as if annoyed at her own weak body. Lu Ruyan, how could you? You remembered this plot. In the original Shitari, the heroine pushed a little girl to save her. That's how she got hit by a heavy object. The original owner called and scolded her for asking for trouble, and didn't take her to the hospital. This nearly caused the heroine to not survive. When she woke up, the original owner didn't care. Instead, he blamed her harshly. Having a girlfriend lie you. I'm the unluckiest person alive. You poor leech can't even earn money. You just spend mine and drain me. Why don't you just die? These words often haunted the heroine's nightmares. You'd seen them many times while reading. Now the novel is becoming reality. The one who should say these cruel words is now the woman. Saying them would hurt Lu Ruyan. Not saying them would break the original character, and make Lu Ruyan suspicious. Your lips tremble, unable to utter a word. But Lu Ruyan lowered her head first. I'm sorry. I'll get better soon. I'll try not to delay earning money. You couldn't hold back anymore. Your eyes were full of pity. She did nothing wrong. Why should she apologize? Lu Ruyan, you're irresponsible. If you're hurt, you can't earn money. You can't get hurt. Lu Ruyan's dark eyes stared at you, as if trying to see into your heart through your eyes. Different, so different. Although both were telling her to earn money, your face now was full of undisguised pity and guilt. Why are you pitying me? Don't cry, Chen Fen. She was comforting you. You were stuck between a rock and a hard place by the plot. You needed to do things you didn't lie. You really wanted to come clean with her, but you were afraid she'd think you were crazy. Highly educated people are firm materialists. She wouldn't believe such a bizarre shitari. You picked up the lunchbox on the table. I'll get you some food. The elderly man in the next bed suddenly asked Lu Ruyan. Young man, is he your boyfriend? Lu Ruyan hummed in agreement. She looked at the elderly woman also lying in bed. The couple was about 70 years old. They looked calm and kind. Seemed easy to get along with. The old man teased. Little girl, you're lucky. Your boyfriend cares about you a lot. He's been watching your foredrip. Calls the nurse as soon as it's done. Hasn't left your side for a moment. Been here since morning. The old man nodded. Yeah, he probably hasn't even had lunch yet. I saw you come in at 11. Lu Ruyan fumbled for her phone on the table. She opened Jiang Xinue's chat and sent a few messages asking to borrow money. Jiang Xinue had gently asked her many times if she needed money. Lu Ruyan was proud. She refused to lower her head and ask, but if she didn't lower her head now, you would suffer. She could even imagine you drawing day and night to scrape together her medical bills. It wasn't worth letting you suffer for her pride. The hospital door opened, and you came back with a lunchbox. The patient meal was quite rich. 2 meats, 2 veggies, and a lotus root and rib soup. But Lu Ruyan was puzzled. Why was yours also so light? Your meal box had the same dishes as hers. He remembered you liked strong flavors. You broke apart the chopsticks, in case you get tempted and steal my food. I can't just swap. Lu Ruyan was silent. He wasn't like that, but the old man next to her understood. He's afraid you'll find the food bland, so he's eating the same thing to keep you company. You looked incredulous. You guiltily looked away, trying to salvage your persona. No, I just felt like eating light today. How much is the surgery? Lu Ruyan asked. Over 10,000. You were already worrying about where to get the money. Lu Ruyan, aren't you unlucky? Just got paid and this happens. Heaven's really out to get you. Lu Ruyan added, as they say, when you're poor, even drinking water gets stuck in your teeth. You were speechless. What a grim but true saying. But don't worry. Lu Ruyan picked up her phone and transferred money to you. I borrowed some money. You looked at the 20,000 yuan that arrived in your oatsao, shocked. You actually borrowed money? That's not right. You remember the original Shitari. The heroine never borrowed from anyone. Even when she worked 10-hour days, she gritted her teeth and did it herself. Someone as proud as her wouldn't borrow money. But Lu Ruyan said she could. I have a junior, Jiang Xinyue. You've met Jiang Xinyue. You remember, in the novel, she was her junior and partner. After Lu Ruyan regained her status as the princess of the Beijing Circle, she promoted her to her right-hand woman. Lu Ruyan had already taken the first step. She didn't seem to mind borrowing more money from Jiang Xinyue. When we're discharged, we'll move to a new place. You were shocked. Lu Ruyan's character was supposed to be strong and independent, not relying on others. And borrowing from Jiang Xinyue? You thought you shouldn't just milk one person. Lu Ruyan nodded. She's a high-level executive at a famous company now, making over 100,000 a month. Your mind was blown. Coins were practically falling out. No wonder she's a friend of a big shot. Also a big shot. Milk. This is the expensive wool. But when you were discharged, you moved out of the basement. The book clearly stated they lived in that semi-basement for over a year, until the heroine was sold to a nightclub. Could there be another change? Lu Ruyan said, I'll look for apartments online these next few days. Let's get a one-bedroom with a balcony. Your expression was unreadable. Oh cool. But inside, you were unhappy. This paper world was all controlled by the author. It couldn't change drastically in a short time. Lu Ruyan's medication had a sedative, so she slept a lot. You worked by her bedside, helping her call the nurse when needed. You were focused when drawing. Worried you'd miss the foredrip, you set an alarm to trek periodically. You did the same at the beginning. In the end, the nurse saw and felt sorry for you. You can buy a drip reminder. It'll alert you when it's done. You don't have to keep watching. Poor people's first reaction is worrying they can't afford it. There's such a handy thing? Is it expensive? A bit expensive. You were nervous. I don't know if it's a few hundred. If it's too expensive, I won't buy it. 14 yuan. You were speechless. Your expensive as medical staff is really scary. With the gadget's help, you could sleep more soundly than before. But because you got up a few times, when Lu Ruyan opened her eyes in the morning, she noticed you had dark circles. Lu Ruyan, do you feel unwell anywhere? Lu Ruyan felt uncomfortable inside, remembering how you used to call her useless. You were right. I've been bad to you. I'm always dragging you down. In that brief moment, she thought about letting you go, but the words wouldn't come out. Hire a sitter. Don't say that. You frowned, troubled. But a sitter in Beijing costs hundreds a day. It would take me days to earn that much. Maybe I should apply to be a sitter here. I'm just worried you'll be too tired and not rest well. Lu Ruyan couldn't bear it. Finally, she explained, I can catch up on sleep during the day. It's just that sitters are really expensive. A week costs 2,000 yuan. Just thinking about it makes me feel like the world is ending. Lu Ruyan turned her head, lips pressed tight. At the office, Jiang Xinyue was swamped. Suddenly, she got a WeChat from Lu Ruyan. Opening it, she was overjoyed. Senior, you're finally getting back on your feet. Welcome back to your domain. I'll find you a suitable side job right away. Lu Ruyan looked at your busy back, suddenly felt that giving up her so-called persistence was good. When her company went bankrupt, she once doubted her life, thought she couldn't make it in the internet industry. The billions in debt kept her from going back. What changed her mind? It was the pressure of life. It was her boyfriend staying up to change her for at night and selling paintings to support her during the day. It was you saying drawing dozens of pictures a day was easy, yet often your hands ached from drawing too long. But you didn't complain. Just shook your arm and started again. Lu Ruyan had to admit she was wrong. Her avoidance was weak and cowardly. She needed to face her past. Find the real reason for her bankruptcy. Overcome it. Stand up again. Your phone rang. Thank you so much. After hanging up, Lu Ruyan asked what happened. You smiled. I cancelled the hotel. The landlord talked to them and got the unused room fee refunded. But today marks 7 days. The landlord went and found the room still smelled, so they made them pay for another 7 days. They transferred me over 1,000 yuan. A windfall. Lu Ruyan smiled along with you. Xiao Fen, shouldn't you take a break? Rest a bit. But it was just a slight curve of her lips. Sitting all day is bad for your neck. I'll go downstairs and get some exercise. You took your paintings downstairs to find the courier. There was a courier point not far from the hospital entrance. You went to fill out the address. Just then, a familiar voice suddenly rang out. Chin Fen, long time no see. You looked up and saw a head of pink hair. It was Ningbing, the junior from Kaffa. You hadn't seen her since you moved to the scenic entrance. You were puzzled. Long time no see. Are you hanging around here? Ningbing smiled and winked. My sister is sick. She's in this building. She pointed upstairs. But I won't go up to see her. She probably doesn't want to see me. You thought you had things to do, so you said. Then you go ahead. I need to go upstairs and take care of my girlfriend. I won't chat. Don't go. I want to talk to you more. Seeing you about to leave, Bai Ningbing followed you. What's there to talk about? We're not that close, are we? Fen, why did you block me on WeChat? I can't even send you messages. You thought, of course, I'm afraid you're a scammer. But you still frowned and said, is there something you need? Bai Ningbing said lazily, be with me. I'm richer than your girlfriend. I can make sure you never have to worry about money. You won't have to sell paintings to make a living. If you agree to be with me, I'll give you this watch worth 4 million yuan as our token of love. You looked at the watch with no recognizable brin. No wonder you'd never seen it. It was that expensive. It was indeed enough for a lifetime of comfort. You looked up and told her seriously. First, thank you for liking me, but I already have a girlfriend. If you still insist on trying to steal me away, I think that's unwise. Because there's an uglier word for that. Homewrecker. Bai Ningbing's smiling face froze instantly. Homewrecker, this man actually called her that. Bai Ningbing had been surrounded by admirers her whole life. The first boy she actively pursued called her a homewrecker. I'm pretty and rich. You're not even a little tempted? I dare not. Lu Ruyan is the princess of the Beijing circle. When she regains her status, she will officially become the family heir. Those famous business tycoons, regardless of age or seniority, would all have to greet her proactively. Even if Bai Ningbing's family is rich, she absolutely can't compete with Lu Ruyan. In the future, they'll both be sent to a mountain village to raise pigs. Thinking of this, you looked at Bai Ningbing with pity. Given how spoiled the young lady is, if she were thrown into a desolate mountain village, she'd probably be harder to keep alive than piglets. Not tempted, Bai Ningbing was shocked by your look. Her face was full of disbelief. What's going on? Does he already know Sister Ruyan's true identity? Impossible. That's been kept a secret. Even Sister Ruyan herself doesn't know. No, I can't let them stay together. If Lu Ruyan ends up with such an ordinary person, even if she returns to the family, she won't be stable. This man is an obstacle. She still needs to find a way to break them up. In the hospital room, you just walked in to see a young doctor, eagerly asking Lu Ruyan about her recovery. Maybe his smile was too obvious. You felt the doctor had ulterior motives. Eat light for the next few days to avoid wound inflammation. The doctor gave enthusiastic instructions one by one. All he got were cold responses from Lu Ruyan. But he didn't give up. Instead, he brought a pulse oximeter and said enthusiastically, let me track your pulse. See if it's normal. You raised an eyebrow in question. Isn't this a bit too obvious? You waited until the male doctor left cheerfully with the data. Then you walked unhappily to Lu Ruyan's bedside. Lu Ruyan had noticed you were back. Unlike the relaxed atmosphere before you left, you were now sullen, as if holding back anger. It seemed someone had upset you. Lu Ruyan asked what happened downstairs. You casually said, nothing. Ran into a customer I painted for before. Just chatted a bit. She asked again why you were unhappy. You kept a straight face. Lu Ruyan, I'm not unhappy. I'm just angry. What was she angry about? Lu Ruyan observed quietly, watching your anger grow instead of fade, especially when the doctor came in to record her pulse again and left. You silently complained. Again. 3 times this morning. Why didn't he come the first 2 days after surgery? Now that she's almost better, he's recording so often? Isn't it a bit too obvious? You had a lot to say but didn't dare, so you started drawing in frustration. Your emotions were always obvious. Lie now. You deliberately moved your easel, turning your whole back to her. Lu Ruyan started reflecting on what she did wrong. You seemed to be angry at her. The drip alarm went off again. You had just pressed the call button. The young doctor immediately came in. I'll change it. You sat back down, feeling defeated. Let him come. A fry helper to watch Lu Ruyan. I get a break. Throughout the day, the young doctor came 6 times. You didn't talk to Lu Ruyan all afternoon. When you went downstairs to get food, Lu Ruyan was still thinking about how to cheer you up. She was frowning. Xiao Lu, what are you worrying about? Why aren't you resting? Lu Ruyan looked at the sleeping elderly woman, lowered her voice. I think I made my boyfriend angry, but I don't know what I did wrong. If you did something wrong, just apologize. Couples don't have overnight grudges. Lu Ruyan asked a question beyond her experience. Apologize even if you don't know what you did wrong? In her over 20 years, because she was reliable and rarely made mistakes, she rarely apologized to anyone. But an apology needs a reason, right? You can apologize even if you don't know. You can say you'll change. Wait until she's not angry anymore. Then she'll tell you why she was angry. The old man gave her advice. Lu Ruyan felt it was a bit shallow. She decided to try it later. You came back with the lunchbox. lunchbox. You put the plastic bag on the table next to her, not even bothering to open the box for her. And you didn't pull out the small table for eating. Lu Ruyan felt a pang of guilt. Does he want her to eat or not? Lu Ruyan couldn't figure it out. Just as she was about to ask, you pressed the bedside call button. The young doctor came in and changed his drip. Seeing his lunchbox had arrived, he casually said, "Let me open the tray table for you." Lu Ruyan finally realized something was off. You still ignored her. The young doctor placed the lunchbox on the tray table. He even helped open the lid and chopsticks. Lu Ruyan stopped him. "No need to bother. I'll do it myself." "Thanks," the young doctor said with a smile. "I'll step out then. Press the button if you need anything." Lu Ruyan then recalled all your unhappiness today. It all seemed to revolve around the call button. Could it be because of that? But why would it be? Lu Ruyan didn't know what to call this strange feeling. She only knew that her boyfriend hadn't spoken to her all afternoon because of this. He hadn't even looked at her. Lu Ruyan felt extremely uncomfortable. "I'm sorry. This apology was directed at you," you said without turning your head, holding your paintbrush. "Sorry for what? Just eat your fruit." Lu Ruyan stayed silent and didn't eat. She just stared heavily at your back. Her gaze was too intense. Even without turning around, you could feel it. It made you uneasy. You turned around. "What? Why keep staring at me? Do you want me to feed you, Lu Ruyan?" This was dinner for the two of them. "I'm not hungry," Lu Ruyan echoed. "Then I'm not hungry either." "Threatening yourself, huh? Fine, I'll give in." Under the pressure of the Golden Circle Princess's authority, she quickly stood up. She opened the lunchbox on the tray table. "Are you jealous?" Lu Ruyan suddenly asked you this. Your hand trembled. "Jealous of what? No way, why would I be jealous?" Lu Ruyan was just a paper character. Like the simulation games he'd played, she wasn't real. Who would fall for a paper character? "You are jealous," Lu Ruyan said confidently. "Why aren't you saying anything?" "You were afraid of blurting out the truth. So you said, I'm not jealous. I just don't like being cheated on." Lu Ruyan felt wrongly accused. "Cheating on you?" You glared at her and said, "You're using your charm to lure him. You want to stray. Anyway, remember this. They're not your true love. Don't go around flaunting your charm." You thought she'd promise you that she'd never look at another man again. But she just stood there like a robot and blurted out another line. "Xiao Fen, you're really jealous. That's crazy." In an instant, you said angrily, "I told you I'm not. Are you a robot?" Then Lu Ruyan leaned in and kissed you on the lips. The cold, crisp scent of the woman hit you, still full of aggression. Your pupils dilated. Your mind went blank. After a few seconds, she pulled back. Just then, the young doctor came in to take his temperature. You immediately turned and sat in front of the easel. "Why haven't you eaten yet? With the food open so long? It must be cold by now." Would Lu Ruyan refuse this time? "No, it's not cold. I don't have a fever." "Then let me heat up your food. Our hospital has a microwave." The young doctor was too eager. Lu Ruyan only realized how obvious it was after understanding. Lu Ruyan looked up and said, "Frequently leaving during work hours, visiting patients without medical needs, is not standard care. If this continues, I will report